watching Hot Ticket, your source for what's happening in Hampton Roads. I'm your host, Michelle Steger. Did you know that the official Shakespeare Festival of Virginia is based in Williamsburg? All I can say is take that, Richmond. But, you know, all weird regional rivalries aside, the Virginia Shakespeare Festival is in its 36th season, as well as being practically in our own backyard. And the artistic director of that festival is here today to give us all the details. We are very glad to have you.
Well, thanks for having me here, Michelle.
Now tell us, what do we have on tap this year? What are we going to see?
Well, a little bit different of a start this year. We're starting with a musical, but it's a Shakespeare musical, so that perfectly makes sense for what we're doing here. It's called Illyria, the musical version of Twelfth Night. We first did it in 2006. It moved on to a couple of other Shakespeare festivals, and now it's coming back on our stage in 2014.
That really sounds like a lot of fun. If you're going to do a Shakespeare musical, I feel like Twelfth Night's a good place.
Well, it is. It's actually the play that Shakespeare put the most songs in it of his own here. And I think it's a fun version because the dialogue is still mostly Shakespeare's stuff here, sometimes just a little bit simplified here, and then the musical numbers take off from that, and oftentimes even using Shakespeare's own lyrics that he's got here, but with musical styles that feel a little bit like Disney's Aladdin, I would say.
Okay. So that should be interesting.
It is, and I think we found last time we did it in 2006, it was also a great show for kids. I mean, just a wonderful thing to bring young people to who perhaps haven't come to Shakespeare before here. And so they get the sense of it here, and they get all the musical numbers and the fun that's out of that here, and we hope that'll encourage them to come back see Julius Caesar next.
Maybe less for the young people, depending.
Well, maybe it depends how you look at it here. But, you know, conspiracy and murder and armies and things like that, they'll find some stuff that they'll like too.
Oh, definitely. I'm not saying they won't like it. Yeah. I'm just,
Yeah.
more worried about
Yeah.
how their parents might feel about them seeing all the conspiracies and...
Yeah, well, we really do encourage, though. Part of it is, we have a very low child's ticket price of $12 here, and that's really to encourage parents. If you've got kids that are, 9, 10 years old, even here, to go ahead rather than getting a kid sitter, bring them.
It might be fun. You never know what they're going to like.
Yeah.
I have found with my children that the strangest things, the things you think are going to be out of this world, that's what they cotton on to.
Right. Well, I think that they'll like the fun musical dance numbers and everything that's involved in Illyria here. But Caesar is spectacular. I mean, just really large sets and 35 actors and just an enormous teeming stage full of this Rome that's happening in 44 BC. And so I think that they'd be intrigued with the spectacle of it as well as the story.
So do you think the hall really sort of contributes to that?
Yeah, we're really a Broadway-size house here, and so that we've got the capacity to do some pretty wonderful things when we want to here with lightings and moving scenery and turntables and stuff, as you may have seen from a Romeo and Juliet that you mentioned you saw of ours in 2007 here, where the whole thing spun around a lot of the times. And so that's part of the fun of that theatrical world, too.
Well, that'll be so much fun. So Illyria will be showing from June 25th as opening night.
Right.
And it goes till July 6th?
Right, so it runs for 2 weeks here, and then we're off for a couple of days in a mad, crazy changeover between shows here, and then on into Julius Caesar for the following 2 weeks through July 20th.
Gotcha. So, I mean, if you can't get to Illyria, get to Julius Caesar.
Yes.
And ticket prices, y'all even often offer a season ticket price.
Right, for adults in particular here, it's 25% less to buy both shows rather than buying a single ticket to each here. But our ticket prices we try to keep, not only for kids, but for adults as well, very reasonable. So that $22 per show on a season ticket here is a bargain here. And we've got casts that are coming from New York and DC and Atlanta and stuff. So there's a lot of people that gather in Williamsburg for this official state festival.
There you go. And I mean, even as a college student, I mean, so you can be a middle school student, you can be a college student, and you're still getting the student ticket price too. So that's a beautiful
whatever
thing.
School you're in, yeah.
It works out, especially with the amount of adults going to college lately.
Well, that too. We've got some of them out on William and Mary campus.
Absolutely, and I can say that as one of those adults.
Ah.
So get your tickets at the theater box office. You can visit wm.edu/box office, or you can call 757-221-2674. Come on out and see it. For Hot Ticket, I'm Michelle Steger.
Of the pear, but never on the fruit, to taste or look, to see the robin in her flight, but never hear her song as she does fly, to live beside a world of